No brass. No brass. Too quick for you this time.
He's beaten me. He's beaten me this week.
I was half expecting you to like laugh for a sec and then make it pretend, like just start talking normally, and then you'd be like, "Oh well, you got me," and then you just start going like just out of nowhere. Like, oh, fuck's sake.
No, that would be it'd be too easy. There's no way that I could get away with it. There's no way. No way that I would get away with that.
God fucking damn it.
How are you this morning, man? It's a Saturday morning. We did it.
Saturday morning.
We made it.
Somehow this managed to happen. Look, it's like half an hour, 40 odd minutes late, but technically, look, I'm just going to go off the first digit that's on the clock here, like the first number, which is 8.
Yeah.
So
we're closest to on time that we've ever been. In
for
like
a while at least.
4 weeks.
I remember like really early on, we'd be like 7:30, we'd be going over the script for like half an hour, just like, oh yeah, just talking garbage. And then 8 o'clock on the dot, we start recording.
The problem with that method though is then you already talk about the things that you want to talk about on podcast.
So we stopped talking, like we just started we started keeping track of the things we wanted to talk about and then just not communicating during the week. Like we just don't talk to each other at all.
But it's an unfortunate side effect, yeah. We're like, oh, that's a good thing for podcast. And rather than just like jump in and go and be like, hey man, did you see this? We're like, no.
Yeah, because you miss that raw like reaction. You miss that initial like any sort of shock. If there was any like shock in it, it's gone. If there's any like... If there's any like humor in it, they've already reacted. They've already laughed as much as they're going to about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was good." But it's not the same. It's not the same as hearing that first time reaction.
No, you want the little bit better than that. So that's what we've got. But
mate, I got to bring your attention to this fucking this thing. This is from like. Well, it's the 3rd of the 11th I put this in here. So this is a couple of weeks ago, and we just somehow I just forgot to didn't get to talk about it.
What is it, like a topic we didn't discuss or something? Or?
Yes it is. It's a weird one. I don't even remember how the fuck I found it or why I thought that it was worth bringing here, but this one, I think the picture of a Dodge Ram with a mural of
what the
Chuck
hell?
Norris spray painted onto the side of it just made me laugh. I was like, why? Why would you do this?
So you've sent me an article. It's from
do you want to read the title?
Website called Jalopnik, and the title is, and the subcategory is Russia Lopnik, and then the title is Russia's airbrushed car scene is out of control, and what is this? It's a Chuck Norris leaning on a car that is spray painted onto the. What is that? The driver's side in Russia?
It's the left hand side. Can't tell if it's the driver's side or not. I'd imagine if it's not if it hasn't been converted,
it would be our passenger side door.
Yeah. But if it's not converted, it would be the driver's side door. But yeah, it's a Dodge Ram 1500. It's got the big engine in it though. It's got the 5.7 litre Hemi in it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a mural of like an airbrushed. It's not just Chuck Norris. It's Texas Walker, like fucking Walker Texas Ranger, whatever the fuck that show was. It's that character. So he's in all black with the little fucking badge on the hat, and he has what looks like. It looks like a saddle, like a very prettied up saddle sitting on the edge of another pickup truck that he's leaning against, and that is all sort of spray painted in the background behind him. So it's a mural of Chuck Norris leaning on a saddle, which is on the side of the bed of a truck, painted on the side of a truck.
Yeah, and just so that we can really get across how out of place this seems, it's a white Dodge, but the mural is entirely confined to the door panel.
Only, yeah.
It doesn't stretch out over the rest of the car. It doesn't form like this big wrap. It's just that door has
not
Chuck
on the
Norris
bottom,
on it.
not on the tray, like on the bed, on the sides of the bed or anything. It's on the driver's side door only.
Oh my God, have you seen these other ones?
I have seen the other ones.
It's like a chihuahua posing in front of a waterfall. on the side of a black Toyota? What is this?
There's
oh
the
my
guy
god,
who's
they've got the
cat
the
from-
Cheshire cat
Yeah.
one of them. They got the Joker with a pistol. Now this
Someone
one's
has the
sort of-
Joker holding a pistol on the left side of a Hilux, but it's across the whole, like both doors.
What
Fuck.
the hell? Another guy's just got like a space scene with an astronaut on it.
That one's kind of cool.
Oh, someone's got a Minions vehicle. Oh
of course,
god,
it's
what
one
is
of
it?
those
It's a
little-
smart.
It's a smart car, yeah. Of course.
Oh,
what the fuck else would it be?
Polar bear just hanging out on the side of it. Lots of utes have this.
I'll also
detail,
note that the smart car with the minions on it. Do you see what the minions are doing? It looks like the car has been like this. They've painted on like these holes, like scratch marks, as if a creature has clawed it open, and like big cracks and tears in the metal.
Yeah.
And the minions are patching it
repairing
up. Yeah, they're fixing it.
Did you see this? Okay, so there's one's like a Corolla, and it's a Panther on a lead, and the lead connects
tied
to the
door handle.
The door
Yeah.
handle. The lead's connected to the door handle, and the Panther is like resting on the wheel well.
The wheel arch. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That one's kind of clever, but I don't know what this next one is. It kind of looks like Hillary Clinton's eyes behind a fucking some sort of snow scene.
Yeah, it's just like a landscape. Instead of the sky, they just put some eyes there. That's kind of creepy. What on earth?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
there's
god!
some
And then there's that bloke. I don't know what his name
taxi
is.
driver,
It's just
Robert De Niro,
Robin
taxi driver.
Williams. It's Robin Williams as a ant
As a deer man thing. What the fuck?
deer
is that?
man thing.
He's
God,
got antlers
for you
and he
audio
looks grey.
listeners, you really need to see some of this stuff. Scrat from Ice Age, some lemurs, a mushroom and a pine cone
Yeah. Why would you
Scrat
pick a
from
mushroom
Ice
and a
Age
fucking
again.
pine cone?
on
Why
a
would you do that?
BMW. Somebody with enough money to purchase a BMW decided to paint the side of their car with Scrat from
Well,
Ice
it isn't
Age.
just that. It's not just a BMW. It's one of the it's not one of the. It's not like they've got a little BMW 121 or whatever the fuck they are. This is an SUV. Like this is one of the expensive Beamers.
Good lord. Oh, these are two anime wraps. This is Ghost in the Shell
Motoko and
Hellsing.
Bato, yeah. See, that one's kind of cool, but it's just like it's on such a cheap car that I don't understand why spend that much
Oh
money
my god!
on it.
All right, we'll put it in podcast links for you. Audio listeners would strongly recommend checking that out when you got 5 minutes. Maybe when you
fucking
sat
hell.
down with your coffee, show it to your mates. Be like, "Hey man, you should get this." And then
If you want to be reminded that while there are all sorts of problems in the world that could easily be fixed by small amounts of money, people are spending money on things like this.
it's just that's what that's a thing. People buy that.
They
Like,
do.
here's the
People
thing.
pay money for that.
Here's the thing, right? The artwork's actually well done, right?
It's really fucking good.
If you paid an artist to put it on a canvas, put it on a wall, I'd be like, great. I don't know why you would put it on a vehicle though.
Well, because if it's on a wall, who's ever going to see it? You can't just invite people. Hey man, do you want to come around to my house and have a look at this mural on my wall? It's pretty sick.
Whereas if you put
If
it
you
on
drive
your
it around in
car,
the car,
everyone can see
Everyone gets to see it. Everyone sees it, and everyone sees your fucking. Everyone sees Chuck Norris on your door, and they know not to fuck with you.
What kind of job do you have to for that to be cool? Like,
There was a guy
if
around here. I
turn-
forgot about this. Some guy had a smart car. I'm pretty sure it was a smart car cruising around here. It might have been a little Suzuki or something, but it was like one of those little fucking cars, like small ones. It was done in a black and yellow Batman theme. It was entirely Batman themed. Yeah, remember the old black and yellow Batman getup?
Okay, but even if it's like Batman themed, that's not like slapping Batman on the front.
Well, it did have Batman logos and Batman words. And it had a wing that was like on the back at the roof that was like a bat wing sort of thing.
Oh god!
Like it was a smart car Batmobile, and this dude, I used to see him driving around in it all the time, and just wonder, like, how much money do you have that you can just waste on that? Like, and what is the rest of your life like? Like, do you just live in pure luxury? Like, you have so much money that this is just a joke to you, and you have a Lambo hidden away at home that you don't drive? Or is this what you pour every spare cent you have into? Is this what you do with all your money?
See, this is one of those things where I always wonder. It's just like, you know, eventually I suppose there will come a day where, you know, this is statistically unlikely, but there will come a day where a client has seen one of my YouTube videos or has seen the podcast or something like that, right? And they'll ask me about it. And I always wonder, I'm like, is that ever going to is that going to make my client concerned? Like, are they going to be scared?
Maybe.
But they're like,
maybe.
yeah, this is the man that's representing me. I can tell you hands down that if I turned up to a courthouse in a Batman-themed smart car, my client would drop me on the spot. I'd be like, I don't care. Right, well, I'm repping myself.
Yeah, I'd rather... it'd be worse if you got out in like... I almost said a Batman suit, but I feel like it would be better if you stepped out in your normal suit, but with a Batman cowl on. Like just the...
yeah, that would immediately do it. Yeah.
And you just talk to him normally as if... And don't address it. Just act like nothing's out of the ordinary. Hey, mate, how you going? Yeah, no worries. I'm pretty sure we're going to... like. I hope today goes really well.
Yeah, I've prepped all the material.
Really
ready to go. You ready to go? Great. Good.
Just the eyes like painted black around and everything. Like just the whole fucking thing. Like the head has been done as accurate as possible. Everything else is lawyer.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Or even better, I come up to him like, hey, you ready to go? I've prepped the material. Where's Rachel?
Do the full Christian Bale Batman. Oh, fuck no. Well,
at some point we have to do an intro, right?
We do. Welcome to NULLSCORE, the podcast where I make jokes about Sean Connery's wife-slapping antics and Hamish cringes and thinks about all the brand deals we'll never get. My name's Jim, and this is my co-host Horace Wimp. How does it feel to be late again today, man? Did you have to hurry out to the bus?
I was...
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No idea. I was late again today. I was like 20 minutes late, which is good by our standards. The Sean Connery thing. Oh man, dude. I was like, as soon as he said it, I was like, wow. And then I looked it up, the YouTube video. I was like, oh no.
I sent you a link. It was it was the end of the last podcast, and I made the joke and you didn't react. I was like, all right, well he's either willfully ignoring it because he's like, oh, I'm not touching that. No way. Or he didn't hear me because he's too busy searching or Googling or something. And I watched the footage and you had that face where you're just like you're deep in Google. Everything else is not registering. Only what's on the screen.
Yeah, I was focused. I was in the zone. So we got a little bit to talk about today. We had Russia's airbrushed car scene as an intro, but a little bit about Twitch. Twitch has got some more DMCA stuff that we wanted to run around. There is some Twitch ad block memery, which I want to run.
That, so yeah, you'll have to.
It's pretty interesting. And then we've also got. I wanted to mention there was a clip that was just doing the rounds about a Pokemon card. And I thought that I would raise that with you because I thought it was interesting, just as the kind of like a today in Twitch sort of thing. But lots of stuff to cover today. Do you want to start with the DMCA stuff? I know you brought up the DMCA stuff.
I mean, there's a lot to cover there. So like, should we just run over it briefly and kind of like there'll be links and stuff in Discord anyway. So. Anyone who wants more detail will be able to find it, but
it's also just been covered really heavily. It's been all over.
I think so, yeah. It's been
YouTube
everywhere.
Channels and stuff, yeah.
I guess, yeah. I only wanted to bring it up to sort of see how much of it you're aware of and like what your thoughts on it are. I guess because like,
not a whole lot. I'm familiar with this idea that apparently clips that have been deleted are being claimed, but I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Where it's like clips have been kept in storage. Yeah. But other than that, I haven't done a huge amount of digging.
Well, their response to it has been, yeah, sorry, we should have had better tools in place. We knew that this would happen eventually. And it's like, that's how they've kind of started this whole article.
Yeah, right.
And like, that's just it's so useless, man. That's like, what would I equate this to? It's like when somebody's put, hours into making some big fucking monstrosity cake, and then you knock it out of their fucking hands onto the floor, and you go, yeah, sorry, I should have been looking where I was walking. Anyway, like, no.
I mean,
you can't get away with like.
It's less them like knocking it out of your hands and more so you're like, hey, I would like to make a cake. Do you have a table? And they hand you the most fucking rickety ass table that you've ever seen. Yeah, and then some little shit kid comes in and starts kicking out the legs. And you're sitting there like, you had like years to get me a decent table. What's going on? Do you still want me to make cake? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll just use the old
Please
table.
Keep
it's
making
fine.
The cake, yeah. We're not going to fix this table just now, like not just yet.
No. We've got all your requests for an oak table.
We'll just try to warn you a bit better. We'll put a bell on the kid so you know when he's incoming. Like
exactly. If you don't want the table to fall over, just don't let the kid kick the table. Great, but I tell him not to, and he does it anyway.
I mean, their response, one of their responses was, for the time being, mute the game audio while you're streaming. So that's like saying, make the cake, but only bring the plate to the table. Don't actually bring the cake. Like, put the cake somewhere else.
Can we talk about that just specifically for a second?
Mute the game Twitch audio.
Twitch is a platform that is centered around video games, live streaming people playing video games. Mm-hmm. And Twitch has such an issue with DMCA claims right now that music included in video games is causing people issues. That's like 98% of Twitch. Yeah. How are you supposed to play games if the games are what's causing the trouble?
This has been an issue with the GTA games for a long time because of the radio stations. It's all, it's all licensed music. Yeah. So, of course, you're going to get tripped up on that every now and then. But I think this is the first time where it hasn't just been like big name artists and stuff like it was in GTA. This is now like pretty much anything. There's one. So there's one here that I sent you a link to. That it's a Twitter post. HC Justin. It's very cool that I had a VOD get muted during Phasmophobia. No music or anything playing, but I guess us whispering at a ghost sounded a lot like some meditation spoken word album. This rocks. Yeah. And then he's got, he's given it like a screenshot of the, he's given a screenshot.
The person that claimed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it does look like the name of it is the name of it looks like it would be a it would be like a meditation album, like
some ASMR stuff.
Yeah, like remember how you used to be able to get them at like cheap shops, those like real hippie albums, and some of them were just like pan flute and fucking rivers flowing.
Oh yeah, it's like whale noises to help you sleep. Volume like 7.
And some of them were like meditation, like people making like the fucking monk. I don't know what they are, like the throat noise singing stuff. All that
Mongolian
sort of
throat singing.
That stuff, yeah. All that sort of bullshit. It was heaps of that. Mum had so many, dude, for a while there. She just had almost as many of those fucking things as she did regular music. But yeah, it looks like one of those kind of things, like something along those lines. And somehow the bot's gone, yep, it's this. Like, wait, what? No, it isn't. What's wrong with you?
That's so nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I worry for like big games whether they're going to have to start now opting out of copyright claims with Twitch. Like whether the game studio is going to have to approach Twitch and say, hey, listen, all of the music included in our game is made by our studio. We're fine with people streaming it, right? Mm-hmm. Like... big one that comes to mind is Cyberpunk 2077. Mm-hmm. When that game releases, it will be all over Twitch, hands down. There are literally Path of Exile. I think we talked about it last week or the week before. Path of Exile delayed a release of one of their expansions because they knew it came out on the same week as Cyberpunk 2077. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is the big bad in the room with current release schedules
this year.
Yeah. Like developers are deliberately shifting shit to be off that week because it's just got ridiculous levels of hype surrounding it. And the music in that will undoubtedly be some like synth wavy kind of nice futuristic sort of vibes.
Well, not all of it, no.
Well, not all of it, I suppose.
They have
like
what's that band? The Refused, I think they're called. They have them doing a few songs that are supposed to be samurai, like the Keanu Reeves character. His band.
Yeah.
They are recording songs for the game. But I mean, that creates another interesting like that's blurring the lines to me as well, because these songs are being recorded for this game. Like CD Projekt Red has obviously paid them to do this.
Yeah, no, CD Projekt Red will have copyright.
Are you sure?
Have copyright for this.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't, man. Maybe the Refused, because it's still listed under the Refused. When you go look at it on Spotify and shit, it's under that band. So maybe not.
I wonder what the contractual agreement there is, because if they're using the music in the game and they sell the game, then there has to be some sort of licensing situation there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of nuts.
Doesn't mean that you won't get strikes for it though on Twitch, because you don't have any agreement.
This is one of those days. I mean, this is one of those days where I'm kind of happy to not be streaming on Twitch as much as I was.
Yeah.
Ergo at all.
Yeah.
Not to say that I won't come back. I think I will come back eventually. I just want to see.
I think for some games it's really disappointing. It's extremely disappointing, because one of my favorite Battlefield games was Battlefield Vietnam, and that was entirely licensed music from that era. I would not
like
be able to play that on
stuff.
Twitch. Yeah. I can't fucking fly a chopper over a field and just send rockets flying into shit with Fortunate Son blasting, because I'll get a strike.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. So it's a big deal. I mean, this also may come across as hypocritical. Fuck me, because in past episodes we've been like, you whinging about DMCA, just use copyright-free music. I think for the most part I still hold that position. It's just now that that's creeping into situations like games, like I got no sympathy for people that will just throw Kanye on and play games with their mates. Like,
yeah.
If you want to listen to music and play with your mates, there's Discord calls and there's bots that will let you play music. Like, You don't need to stream to do that. Streaming in that context, you probably want to be trying to make money. And you want to be doing it properly, like other broadcasting situations do it. But if the platform is designed around gaming and the music inside the game is what's giving you those strikes, then I absolutely understand the frustration, because that throws the whole thing into whack, because then what the fuck are you supposed to play?
Well, this is the other way I was looking at it, and kind of wondering like why it is the way that it is right now, is that Twitch is big enough to have struck some sort of deal with these companies saying like, look, because of the nature of the content in these games and things, this is going to happen every now and then. Can we have some sort of a deal with you where we pay X amount and you don't give us copyright strikes, so people continue to more or less promote these products free of charge to you? Like
it's strange because it's on like a streamer by streamer basis. The big issue is safe harbor laws. Twitch has to act in a certain way as a hosting provider to avoid themselves getting made liable. Yeah. Well, they have to do certain things to basically avoid liability. So they pass the buck onto the streamer. I very much doubt that Twitch would advocate on behalf of the streamers. I think Twitch is probably going to go the way that YouTube's going, in that giving the content creators all of the tools that they need to navigate it safely, efficiently. So like the YouTube content ID system is nuts. You upload a video, you wait like a minute, and then it'll come back and tell you. I think I've said it on the podcast before, but I made a Dark Souls video a while back, and the joke was like I was running along this wall, and then I ended up getting like further on, or what I thought was further on in the game, but realistically all I did was a giant loop and ended up back at the same bonfire. So the gag was I like faded in Linkin Park's In the End It Doesn't Even Matter. There was about 7 seconds there where it was playing, and I like crossfaded, shots of my character standing and looking dejected.
Yep.
And they picked it up.
Of course.
About a minute after upload. They were like, "Yep, this part here is Linkin Park. You have a couple of options. You can cut it, you can mute it, or you can mute it and then replace it with some of YouTube's tracks," which is like, when you have the tools to identify and replace, I think that's the best way that they can do it. I don't think that they're ever going to advocate on behalf of streamers, because
probably not, no.
of the way that Safe Harbor works.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like Twitch is making that much fucking money off forcing ads into every single place they can.
Dude.
And taking a bigger cut. I don't know if you remember Amadillo's Twitter post a while back, where he sat down and worked out how much he was getting from Twitch versus how much the cost of our subs were, and it wasn't lining up.
Yeah, didn't he say he was getting? Yeah, he was getting paid AU money, but his subs were paying US prices or something like that.
No, it was so we were getting paid the $2, I don't know, $2.50, whatever it is US.
Yeah,
but we were paying $9. We were paying $9 Australian for it. We weren't getting half of that sub money. We were getting whatever $2.50 US works out to be at the time, and at the time it was less.
Yeah, it was like $3 or something.
Yeah, it was working out bad. Like it was shit. And he made a Twitter post that kind of got a lot of traction. Actually, a fuckload of people were jumping on it, and eventually nothing happened. They never responded to him at all. Though not that I saw anyway.
No, because if they did, they'd have to pay creators more money.
Well, they'd have to pay what they agreed to.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the thing. They'd have to pay what they fucking agreed to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First rule in litigation: don't admit you did the wrong thing at the outset. Figure out what went wrong and then try and solve it behind closed doors if you can. There'll be some litigation lawyer who's like, "That's not how you do it, man." I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I did litigation ages ago. All right, my job is to deal with the police, not with multinational corporations. Mate, I want to talk about this ad block memery, but we're coming up. I think it's time for a halftime.
You think it's time for halftime? Well, I mean, look, since we're taking a break, do you want a straight up cup of Wake the Fuck Up? I would really like that. Yeah, that would be good. Just wake the fuck up. Do you want a cup of coffee that'll make you feel like you have missiles for feet? That just reminds me of have you seen those the old Flash videos at Newgrounds called Dad's Home and Dad's at Work? Oh man, I gotta put them. I gotta put links to those in the fucking podcast thing as well. Do you want a cup of coffee so refreshing that your co-workers will be thankful when you splash it in their face? Probably. Well, it's hot, of course.
Why?
Yeah. It's no good cold, man. I mean, it does taste good still, but it has to be hot.
Your poor co-workers. Do you want a cup of coffee with enough kick that Bruce Lee would be jealous?
Yeah, I think so.
Killer Coffee is sometimes that coffee and tastes very, very good. They also do not sponsor the show, but we like to think that they do, even though they don't. We're not sponsored by Killer Coffee, but it's kind of funny to pretend that they are, but they don't. Killer Coffee don't sponsor us.
No, they don't.
But like, do
Maybe
it
one day.
If you want to sponsor us, do that.
I mean,
but
yeah, we're
don't
open to it
right now.
You want to send me? Do you want to send us like one free bag every month or two or something, and we'll give it away?
I just wanted listeners to know they don't sponsor us, but we're happy to have them sponsor us, and then we'll do the sponsor spot same as we usually do. We'll just don't do this bit where we say. Look,
as long as we're celebrating Sean Connery's spousal abuse, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Oh my god. One day, Jim, I just want to be able to be here and be like, and you can listen to Audible, blah, 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 right? And walk home. But no, it's just like, hey, do you remember that time Sean Connery belted his wife? And I'm like, I just need
Why? I mean, the joke there is obviously that that's wrong and an antiquated way of thinking because he was really fucking old. But I know that some people won't understand that. They're just going to go, did you hear what he said?
Oh, my Lord. Let me tell you about Twitch and ad block, my friend. Because this sort of flew a little bit under the radar in the wake of the DMCA stuff. But people have definitely been noticing it. So, do you watch very many big streams?
Not really. Like I don't get time to watch a lot of streams at all at the moment.
Okay. So I'm just going to use as an example, I'm going to use Asmongold. Asmongold is a very, very big WoW streamer, but his content is really closer to just chatting most days. Basically what he'll do is he'll hang out in game and have conversations with his chat, right? Now, he put a tweet up where he said, hey, Twitch, my viewers have been getting heaps and heaps of ads in a row, right? And I think originally it was like 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. And people were like, what is going on? Why are people getting 7 ads, right? And Twitch said, well, if you want to stop these, then just run mid-rolls, right? Now, Asmon has basically said, all right, well, we're going to have to run mid-rolls then. And then he did another tweet where he said, hey, my viewers are still getting spammed with ads every 15 minutes and I'm not running mid-rolls. Or I am running mid-rolls, but they're not the mid-roll ads, right? Because he might do mid-rolls for a minute, but they're getting like 20-second ads every 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah? He's like, what the fuck's going on, right? And then people were getting spammed with infinite ads. People couldn't watch the stream because the ads just kept coming, just one after the other. They tried to go in and they couldn't watch it.
Oh, right? God, it's idiocracy. Constant ads.
Now, here's what happened. Twitch has basically implemented a system where it will recognize if you are using ad block. So that is either ad block, uBlock Origin, whatever, right? And if it detects that is the case and that's present, it would feed you an ad. It would force feed you ads. So the ad block would have the opposite effect of what it's intended to do. This is where it gets really good. People complained about this, and Twitch obviously saw that serving up somebody infinite ads when they don't understand how Twitch's ad block, countermeasures work may simply lead to the death of their platform, right? Mm-hmm. So instead, the solution that they have come up with is if you have ad block running at the time that you view a Twitch stream, you cannot have that stream higher than 480p.
Okay.
You are literally limited to watching that stream at 480p and below if you're using adblock. If you don't use adblock, you can have it as high as 1080, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think about that method for encouraging people to move away from adblock? Do you think that is underhanded? Do you think that's lesser of many evils? I want to get your opinion on it.
I think if they were honest about it, if they had been upfront about it, sure, whatever, man. It's it costs them money to run those servers. It costs them money to push a stream out to people. So the money has to come from somewhere for that. And if it's in ads, whatever. If you want to run an ad blocker, you don't ever want to see ads. Watching it at 480, I don't see a huge problem with that. If you want to watch it in anything above that, then cop an ad here or there, or subscribe to the streamer or whatever. Like they have to get money somehow.
Yeah.
Or else they won't stay in business. They won't exist as a platform. Like you said, that it'll lead to the death of their platform. If they're just bleeding money, paying for servers, and there's no money coming in from AdRev or anything else, then they can't. It's not sustainable for them. I think if they were upfront about it, that's fine. But I'm guessing from the way you're describing this that they were not.
I think the way, like, people just worked it out on their own. And then ad block coders would try and find a way around that provision, and then Twitch would subsequently find a way around that provision, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point now where people are using a system, I think it's Twitch LS or Twitch L, I think it's Twitch LS or Twitch LY. And what it does is it lines up an embedded version of the stream and an embedded version of the chat, which can then be ad blocked at 1080p. So the community is it's very much a war of Twitch needs to feed you ads and Twitch is finding ways to feed you ads, and the community's like, no, I don't want to watch ads.
Well, the other thing is people complaining about ads on Twitch wasn't very common, and until Twitch started force feeding you multiple ads in a row, and every time you open a stream you had to watch an ad or two before you could watch the stream. Like
I would say the majority of the time you watch two. I would say.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I hardly ever saw them. You didn't see them that often. And as soon as I started seeing them on every fucking stream, and every time I followed a raid, I had to watch 2 ads or whatever, I was like, no.
Yikes.
That's too much. It's too much. And then that leads more and more people to start trying to use things like ad blockers. Like, if you just keep it like, you've got to find a balance there. And I feel like they didn't. They just started going, well, we're just going to put ads in fucking everywhere.
Yep.
And then they're like, but we're going to share the ad rev with the streamers. Like, what, like 1 cent?
Yeah.
It's
did you forget
worthless.
that your CPM is still garbage?
I'm sure that the guys in the 5 to 6 viewer bracket who are struggling to get new people to watch their streams, those 2 ads, that fucking 1 to 2 cents that they get, they're really going to appreciate that, as opposed to having an extra couple of people in their chat, keeping their chat active. I'm sure the 2 cents is worth more to them than 2 more viewers who have now left because they got 2 or 3 pre-roll ads in a row and they went, nah, fuck this. No, I'll go watch someone else.
I think when I come back to Twitch, I'm going to start employing a pre-rolls off the bat.
If you start your stream at the starting the stream fucking thing and just run ads, then I might start running like the hour, or the one that gets me out of ads for like an hour. Is it like a minute
I think you need a minute of ads to get you to an hour. You can do 30 seconds for 30 minutes free, and then an hour for a minute for an hour free.
Yeah.
So you just run your minute ad at the outset, run that through, I don't know, take a break, run ads, I guess, again.
I just got to keep track of it, that's all.
If it's a minute to an hour, then that's fine. Like, that's actually not too bad, all things considered. If you think about the amount of TV ads, it's like 10 minutes to a 30-minute episode, right?
Is
like
it?
30% of the show. Yeah. Twitch pre-roll ads.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was weird when I started first started sailing the high seas for TV shows as a teenager.
Oh, here you go.
And,
so when a streamer runs a 30-second ad break, pre-rolls will be disabled for the next 10 minutes.
Is that
60-second ad break, yeah. So you're looking at 30 seconds to 10 minutes. I thought that conversion ratio was kind of shitty. Yeah.
I thought it was more than that.
30 to 10 minutes, 60 to 20 minutes, 90 seconds or longer, pre-rolls will be disabled for the next 30 minutes. What's the maximum pre-roll?
Yeah, what's the max one?
That's a good... I'll keep looking at that. You were saying something before I interrupted.
Oh, I was just saying when I first started sailing the high seas for TV shows as a teenager and downloading things that wasn't supposed to be, really. I noticed that TV shows that I remember taking up a half-hour slot were only like 20 minutes, 22 minutes. It's like, what the fuck? Why? And it wasn't until then that it clicked for me how long the ads are on TV shows, like on just free to air. How much time is taken up from just ads. And then sometimes they'd like fade in while the show, like something was happening in the show, but because the ad break, like the times didn't quite line up properly, so they'd like they'd fade out of the ad and into the show in the middle of something happening, like some conversation, and they've cut off a piece of whatever was happening. And they did it at the end too, like they'd cut off bits at the ends, like in between segments. to run an ad. It's like, what the fuck, man? You're missing bits of conversation that might have been important. It's free to air was just. I don't know how boomers can still watch it.
So it looks like Twitch's target is 3 minutes of ads an hour.
Jesus, that's not terrible, I guess. Considering
again, compared to television, that's not bad at all. So you're looking at a 90-second ad break every 30 minutes, and they suggest that you should be earning $1 to $2 per month per viewer from ads.
Okay.
Oh, how much pre-roll free time? To a maximum of 1 hour. So if you run 3 minutes of ads at the start of your stream, then you're going to have an hour without pre-rolls or anything like that.
Good.
Which would solve your issue, and then you just have, I don't know, 3
See,
minutes.
I don't like. I don't want that $1 or $2. I don't give it like that. That's nothing. It's not. It's a non. It's just an amount of money that doesn't mean fucking anything to me. What means more is not having people immediately close the tab when they get they cop a fucking pre-roll from opening my stream.
Yeah, there's 30
so
seconds where they have to
3 minutes.
sit listening to Xbox being like,
well, they
for
won't.
the gamers, what?
Yeah.
And then you're like...
They just won't.
Yeah, and that ad was the worst for a long time because every time you entered a stream, it was just like...
Oh, the Call of Duty ones?
Yeah,
yeah.
So you'd be like...
The Modern Warfare ads and the PlayStation ads were so bad.
Yeah, so I know for me... I'll be editing and I'll be doing like visual stuff, right? So I'll have all the audio muted. And so my room is just very quiet. And then I'm like, I wonder what, Titan or whatever is doing. So I'll throw it up on the second monitor and I'll go back to Premiere. And sometimes it's not bad. Like sometimes you get ads which are just like, in a world where snakes are actually bears. And you're like, oh, okay, well, sure, whatever, I guess. But then there's ads like the Call of Duty Xbox ad, which also, was super loud. But the other one that really shits me off, I don't know if you've got this on YouTube lately, but it's the I think it's the Samsung Galaxy ad. They're currently using a song from BTS called Dynamite. And like every time the ad starts, it's like, I'm like, oh. And so every time I'll open up a YouTube video to go, I'll just close it. I'm like, I can't.
I was getting like this tourism ad for New Zealand. This is while COVID was happening, by the way. There was a tourism ad for New Zealand. I'm like, why?
Oh, that's right. And Loser Fruit was in it, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but they were like playing games. That was
That was they were comparing it to games, and I was like, this is such a stupid fucking ad. Like, no one can go to New Zealand right now. It's only the people who are there. On top of that, this ad's fucking annoying and loud. I hate it. I fucking hate this. That's the worst thing. The ads aren't even targeted. Like, at least on YouTube, most of the time, they show me something that I might be interested in, except for the times where they're like, hey, here's a KFC ad, you fat piece of shit. You can't skip it. You can't skip until the second ad. Here's a Hungry Jack's ad. It's like, I get it. I like fast food, all right? I'm aware of this. It's a problem for me. Stop trying to make me go there more.
It's the worst. So ever since I've been like, eating less for like the challenge and whatnot, I watch way more food YouTube. I don't know what it is, but I like binging with Babish, Joshua Wiseman, all of these like food YouTubers. I watch a lot of it. So every ad now, unless it's the I get fucking that KFC sliders ad with those two, or the slab, where it's like the two old people and they eat a popcorn chicken slab and they're like, yeah,
popcorn chicken thing.
Popcorn chicken slab gave me my youth back. And I'm like, what is going on?
As if I didn't hate that song already. Now every time I see the KFC ad, I'm just waiting for that chick to yell, "I don't care," and I'm like, no.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the Icona Pop song. I don't care.
But it's like, it's also strange. Like it's accurate. I don't care. I don't want to see this ad. Get rid of it, please, forever.
I'm also aware of the fact that in us talking about it, that may be considered successful advertising. And in that effect, or to that effect, I have to warn you, dear viewer, that KFC is a horrible restaurant and you should never eat there. And the Samsung Galaxy phone is a horrible phone and you should never buy that phone. In fact, what you should do is potentially attempt to eat the Samsung Galaxy phone and simply throw the chicken away. Because maybe that's what Samsung will recommend to you, okay? Now we wait for the rep to ring us and ask us why on earth I just recommended that people eat lithium batteries, and I tell them, well, I saw your ad and I was enthralled.
Yeah.
That's it. Which, by the way, I think now, on second thought, that probably damages my abilities to engage with brands just as much as your Sean Connery jokes do.
Yeah, it does.
So we're really both
fuck it, man. Look, live your life. Do what you want. Eat a phone. Why not?
Eat phones. Just eat phones.
Eat phones. Throw the chicken in the garbage.
That's it. Yeah, KFC
just buy a whole
give
fucking
your
box
granddad
of chicken sliders and just fling it at the staff. Do it.
Yeah, your granddad will feel 20 again. He won't feel disgusted. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what will happen when you're a fucking 70-year-old grandfather. You feed him two little bits of those chicken sliders, and he's gonna be jumping on the skateboard, man. He's not at all going to be feeling horrible for the next half hour before he goes for the greasiest shit of his entire life.
That's it. And then you can call him on your Samsung Galaxy and you can tell him that you don't love him anymore. That's what you can do.
He's going to fucking FaceTime you from the skate park.
Yeah. Your granddad will be in the skate park and you'll be like, "What's up, granddad?" And he'll be like, "Bap, bap, 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 bap." And you'll be like, "Shut up, granddad. That's it. I'm done."
Oh, fuck off. Just, that's it. End call.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, I'm very frustrated by this BTS ad. Well, that's the thing. If I'm editing or I'm lying in bed or whatever, I'll be listening to videos. I might have the sound down, and then all of a sudden, it'll just blast my ears off. I
think the worst part of it is that what they do with those ads too is you can mute a stream, and if an ad plays, it unmutes and puts the ad back up, and it's like no. That's why people mute tabs now. That's why you mute a tab, so you don't have to fucking deal with that. Like, I don't understand. They have all these little forced things, like these tiny little things. Like, really, they're small annoyances, but they all build up into this just fucking like they just snowball into this horrible shit thing that you don't want to deal with. Yeah, you just don't want to fucking deal with it, and it sucks because the last few times I've decided, all right, bunch of streamers that I knew and used to interact with a lot. They're not streaming anymore. They were small streamers, and they've just, for whatever reason, stopped streaming. So I'll go find some new ones.
What a weird practice. Who would do that?
Hard to do now than like a year ago. A year ago, it wasn't as bad. It's just been slowly getting worse and worse. It's hard to get into any of the streams because you've got pre-roll fucking ads, and then you've even following raids over is just usually is a shitty thing.
That's the worst, when you raid someone and you get a pre-roll.
You've missed that interaction. Like, they've already reacted to the raid by the time your 2 ads are finished.
Yeah, it's just that's the worst.
That's why like my raids, I don't often react to them immediately now. I give it like 30 seconds to a minute before I start talking to whoever might have come across. Anyone who didn't close the stream immediately because they got pre-rolls.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole other thing. I mean, at least you're not getting 7 ads in a row, but you got to watch your streams in 480p, which, for Australian internet is high definition. But like,
I have to do that sometimes anyway, just because Perth.
It's an interesting practice. I think the strange thing about it is, because they're basically saying, hey, you have to watch it in 480p, you can't watch it in 1080p without ads. I think if they introduced it the opposite way, like, let's say that the threshold was, well, let's keep it at 480p for argument's sake. But let's say that they said, all right, you can watch a stream in 480p unless you sub, and then you can watch it in 1080p. And then people would be like, okay, well, that's just a perk for subbing. Right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big bar to leap, but I feel like that comes across much better than if you want to use ad block, you can watch in 480p. In my personal opinion.
I don't know. I don't know what the fucking solution is really. That's the thing. I'm complaining about all this shit, but we don't really have any reasonable
Yeah, all the Twitch
solutions
devs
to
are
it.
like, they get it. All they do is whinge, but they never fix the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how, like, if you had, as a streamer, absolute control over when ads were run on your stream, right? Now, obviously, Twitch is imposing a 3 minutes per hour ad regime, right?
That's what they want. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
So let's say that they enforce that and they say, listen, as long as you put 3 minutes of ads in that hour somewhere, then we're not going to run any ads automated, right? Because I think all you can do is disable pre-rolls. I don't know if you can disable mid-rolls with
it's a good question.
the breaks. I think that they're exempt, which means even if you're running your mid-rolls manually, Twitch will also run their own mid-rolls on top of that.
Oh, good.
Which is, again, approaching broadcast television levels of memery.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to think about it now. Because if you run that math, right, a league game takes, like a decent league game will take 40 minutes, right? Like a longer league game probably be about 40 minutes. Imagine if you had to watch 20 minutes of ads between games.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Nah, that's shitty.
That is nuts. People are like, oh, but that's like 50% of 40, Hamish. That's wrong math. No, out of the hour, that's 30%. 33%. Whatever. Oh my God. I forgot to tell you, man. So Dad watches the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. He tends to watch it on YouTube. I'm under the impression that he watches the podcast because he just wants to make sure that I'm not, like dying or particularly unhealthy. So he just monitors me from a distance, whereas my mother will ring me up every 2 weeks or so and be like, "Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Well, you go to the gym." I'm like,
he's the guy. He's the guy watching the funeral from like way back the other side with the umbrella and the hat and face hidden. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I was talking to him about, because I said to him, listen to the NULLSCORE podcast because the road trip episode. I was like, I feel like that's something that you'd be interested in. So I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but when I was younger, Dad used to work for a company and he was away for 180 days of the year. Yep. Towards the later end, so when I can remember most of it, he was flying, but in the early days, he was driving, apparently. And I asked him, and Dad was like, yeah, I remember listening to the podcast and thinking that you were such a whinger, Hamish. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Dad? He's like, do you not remember what I did for a job? I was like, yeah, you work for Westphalia. So Westphalia is a company that does rotary dairy machines. Is the best that I can remember it. So they're these giant circle platforms where you basically bring a cow on and it will milk and feed the cow simultaneously, and then the cow can get off on the other side, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool mechanism. Germans manage it. It's heaps. Good for dairy farmers, right? The Dad's job was to drive approximately 70 to 80,000 kilometers a year going from farm to farm, working with these guys, managing their systems.
Yep.
I did the math. That's 220 Ks a day, not including public holidays. So 80K divided by 365 is 220 Ks a day. My dad was driving 2 hours a day, minimum, at 110 Ks. And so I called him and I was like, man, Dad, check out my cool road trip podcast. Look at this 10-hour trip. It was so tough. Dad's like, chump change. What is this?
It's nothing.
He's so used to it.
That's what I was saying to you, kind of. Like you're complaining about a long drive that was arguably fairly easy, because you did it during the day, and it was I would imagine it was a lot of straight roads and not too much.
Single day. Yeah.
Whereas I did that shit in a light truck around heavy traffic every fucking day for a long time, and people drive like fucking idiots in the city. No one can drive.
Yeah,
it's extremely stressful.
It's really bad, yeah. So shout out to Dad calling me out on my bullshit.
See, his job would have been hard just because it's so mentally exhausting driving that much.
This will be uploaded and I'll get a text like 4 or 5 hours later. And he's like, yeah, he's such a whip. Yeah, so I've got to go back. I've got to organize time to go back for Christmas and stuff, man. Do you know what you're doing for like the Christmas season? Have you got plans?
No.
No, you sort of you work it out when you get closer.
Pretty much. I'll probably end up having fucking lunch or something at my parents' place and be out of there as quickly as possible. All right.
I've been given marching orders by my mum. She's like, yep, you need to be down here for Christmas this year because I missed last year. So she's like, I will kill you this year if you miss Christmas again. And I was like,
I think I missed like 4 or 5 Christmases in a row.
Oh, yikes. Christmas is always, But like I've said this before, but Christmas at my parents' house is always really, really awesome. Like everybody gets up at like 9. Everyone decides that drinking a beer at 9 a.m. is fine on Christmas. And then you eat lots of really good food. And then everyone goes away at 3 o'clock. It's so good.
That's what I mean, though. If you've if you've got a family that does Christmas well, or that's like that gets along well enough, I guess, to do Christmas well, then it's probably fine. But that's not my family. That's not what Christmases are like for me. So I don't. A lot of people said to me like, "Oh, like what was the last one? Was like that's sad. Like that's really sad for you." I'm like, well, not really. I don't feel like I'm missing out that much. I just found other things to do. Like for me, I get a week, 2 weeks, somewhere around there off from work, and I get to do whatever the fuck I like. I don't have any obligations. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to. I'm still paid because I have leave. So I just work on stuff that I haven't been able to do during the rest of the year. Yeah, that's like really good time to do stuff like rearrange rooms. I find. Yep. Like that 2 weeks is like a really good time because you get like 2-3 days where you just decompress, and then you have a big day like Christmas or something like that, and then you have a day of recovery, and then there's a day where you're just like, okay, I still have time off, I'm relaxed, I'm recovered, what do I want to do? And you just do shit. And because you've got days to yourself, you can like, you know, put desks on the other side of the room, you can rearrange lights, you can, you know, clean or vacuum under stuff where like heavy furniture usually is. Like they're cool days. They're really, really cool days to have. Don't know if cleaning things is how I describe a cool day, but I mean, I get what you mean. Like things that you haven't had time to do because they take up too much. Like I think one Christmas I had a guitar that needed to be, there was a bunch of shit that I wanted to do to it, and I just had been putting it off because I didn't have time to pull it completely apart and put it all back together, you know, inside of the hour or so that I had. So then like one of the days I just spent taking my time, pulling it apart, cleaning everything up and putting it back together properly and neatly, and not just like rushing and going, yeah, well, it's playable, it's fine. I actually did everything properly and made sure that it looked nice. Just, I don't know, man, stuff like that I don't always get the 4 or 5 hours or whatever, like to take my time with stuff on weekends or like after work or whatever. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know that, trying to cram content creation and gym and stuff, just everyday fucking life things after work. And
it doesn't work at all. No. Like the thing is, there is a theoretical efficiency that you can write down and talk about. Like you can sit there and you can go, okay, I'm going to wake up at 7:30. I'm going to have a shower, get dressed, eat breakfast, be at work by 8:15. Then I work at work until 5. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat something. And then for like an hour and a half, I'll just make sure that I've got all the washing and stuff sorted. And then I'll stream for 3 hours. And then I will go straight to bed and go straight to sleep because I want to wake up early in the gym in the morning, right?
Yep.
But what happens is you wake up and you feel like horrible and you don't want to get out of bed. So you don't get out of bed for 15, 20 minutes. And then you've got time for a shower, but you don't have time for breakfast. So you end up getting like a shitty Macca's breakfast. You get to work, You work a whole day. You're fried by the end of the day. You come home, you eat some food, and then you're like, you know what? I'll just do the washing after stream. And then you stream, and then you've got to do the washing, but you don't do the washing, so you go to bed, and then you watch TV shows, so you don't even go to bed early, and then you didn't even do anything.
And you're like, oh fuck, it's 1 a.m. I really should go to sleep because I was supposed to get up at.
I'm certain that if there was like some drill sergeant or something that was next to you the whole day and was like, pick up your fucking washing and was just able to motivate you through the day, that's fine.
You might actually be able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, the biggest issue is not time management, in that I am very good at being able to look at my schedule and go, yeah, here and here and here and here is where things can happen. Yeah. Yep. But the execution, having just the mental juice and the discipline to do those things is really, really tricky. It's really, really difficult. It can be made easier with routine, I've found. If you do it once, twice, 3 times, it becomes easier. Getting started and creating radical changes, very, very tricky to do. But I'm not a self-help podcast. There's other people that are better at that. But yeah,
definitely don't come to us. Or I mean, maybe you're not a terrible example, but I am. Don't ask me.
There was that clip that you put up. It was streamer therapy. Yeah. That was a good meme.
Oh fuck.
Anyway, let's have a look at the comments from last week. Did we get
There's
any
none,
comments?
I don't think. No, I don't think so.
Really? Oh, good Lord.
Mono must be
Podcast's
dead.
dying. Rip.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't help that I keep making these horrible jokes.
We need to...
getting us shadow banned.
Yeah, we got to do... well, we have to get the thumbnails going again, and we have to get some clips out there.
I thought you were onto that, mate. I thought
I was too, but apparently not. We might need to get Crazy in to do them.
Yeah, that's all right.
If he wants to give it a go, I'd be happy to have him, because he's got his fucking work cut out for him.
There's quite a few now. There's what's from episode 22 is where they stop.
Literally 14 episodes, yeah. So, good luck, buddy.
Stolt.
Yeah.
Time to leap into action, mate.
Yeah, we'll get him in here. Oh, yeah,
I'll talk to him after about it. Stultosaur, yeah. Because Crazy Aussies, there's too many people with Crazy Aussies, so...
Oh, wow. So he's changed to Stultosaur.
Stultosaur, yeah. No one has that, I don't think. Except for him.
There you go. Every time I try to enter Viserys, people take Viserys now. Must be some other guy. I messaged a guy on Twitch who has the Viserys name, asking for the tag back. I'm just gonna have a look, see if it. Oh my god, my channel trailer is playing. Stop that. Yeah, I sent him some messages and nothing. No response.
Probably can't log into his account.
Possibly.
Lost his password or whatever. He's probably got an email saying someone sent you a message. It's like, well, you would think that, but there's been an account with the name that I would rather have, which is just an I instead of a 1. I guess now I'm tied to the 1. Like I can't get away from that now. But I did want TI, and it was taken, and the account was completely inactive. Like nothing. It doesn't do anything ever.
Yeah, right. But
so I contacted Twitch support because they were like, what they say, like a year or something like that of inactivity, and they ask the people if they warn them, say if you don't want to use the account, we're going to free the name up. So I asked Twitch support because it's been there for years. This is like last year, and I was like, hey, like, can you tell me like anything about this? Is this account name going to be freed up soon? Like, is this account active ever? If it is, that's fine. I'll drop it. But I just wanted to know if I can grab it when it becomes available, and they just never replied to me.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, I imagine they may not be able to tell you that information.
The ticket just but they could have at least told me that. They could have just said, look, we can't give you information on someone else's account. But instead, it just months and months went by, and I completely forgot about it. And then out of nowhere, they sent me an email saying, we've closed your ticket as this issue has been resolved. I'm like, what? No, it hasn't. You never answered me.
Well, did you check if the username's available?
No.
I mean, that might be the resolution.
The account is still there, if that's what you mean.
Oh,
like
I
the
see.
account still
Okay,
exists. So if the account still exists, I would imagine the username's not available.
Yeah.
I didn't try to change it to that.
Yeah, if I get the Viserys URL, then Pog, but, maybe that won't happen. We'll see. In any event, if you guys want to catch us on Twitter, you can. It's at TITAN_5150 or at Viserys TV. You can also catch some content that we make. Twitch, Titan streams live, twitch.tv/T1TAN5150, or you can catch me on YouTube, youtube.com/C/Viserys. I haven't made a video in a while, but I have an idea for a video I want to make, and I'm very excited about it. So once I get around to start ticking on that one, it should be very good. But all in all, you can also catch the NULLSCORE podcast on YouTube, youtube.com. We don't have a custom URL. Just look for NULLSCORE. Or you can have a look at it in all good audio platforms, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, yada, yada, yada. Anything else before we close this one out, my dude?
Sean Connery is my personal hero.
Oh, my God. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
God damn it. Of all the jokes. Of all the jokes.
I know. I don't know why. I think I've just latched onto that one because I know how much it bothers you now. And you're like, oh, God, just stop, please. No. Like,
you should make a Sean Connery emote for your stream.
of just him smiling. Like,
yeah.
I've just
It'll be Sean Connery clap.
No. We'll call it schmack.
Oh, no. Good Lord.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Look, at first I thought this was my mistake, but after looking at it a bit closer, I don't think it actually was. Okay. A bunch of the audio versions of the podcasts were doubled. 2 weeks were an identical file. They were an identical audio file. Oh. Now, the way that I go through and upload them, I don't see how I could have made that mistake. Because it was like, at first it was one of them. I was like, oh, fuck, man, how did I fuck that up? And then I went back and had a look and there was like 3 or 4 more. I was like, how? How did I do this? I'm not sure that I did. I think something might have gone wrong on their end, maybe? But
it's an investigation for next week, I think.
Well, there's no investigation to be done. And I already fixed it all anyway. Like, I replaced all the files with the correct ones. But that's not the point. There's like 4 or 5 episodes that were all wrong. They were the previous week. It was the same fucking episode 2 weeks in a row.
Yikes.
Yeah, man. Fucking yikes. It's really fucking bad. It's all fixed now, but Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus. Big rip. All right. I'm going to hit the red button.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.